في تحليلنا النهاردة هنغوص في قلب فصل مليان بالإثارة، فصل بيحكي عن معركة شرسة جدا بين صياد وسمكة عظيمة، معركة بتختبر حرفيا آخر حدود القوة البشرية.
الاقتباس ده بيدينا مفتاح مهم لطبيعة الصراع اللي هنشوفه. دي مش معركة هدفها الاستعراض قدام الناس، لا، دي مواجهة شخصية وعميقة جدا بين كائنين في عزلة تامة عن العالم كله.
طيب يلا بينا نبدأ الحكاية ونرسم صورة للمشهد. بحر واسع وشخصيتين اتنين بس في قلب الصراع المهول ده.
المشهد هنا مش مجرد خلفية للأحداث، لا، ده بطل أساسي. سانتياغو ما بقاش صياد عادي في البحر، هو بقى معزول تماما. تخيلوا، السمكة أخدته المكان محدش يقدر يوصل له خالص، وده اللي بيخلي المواجهة مصيرية أكتر وأكتر.
وهنا بنشوف أطراف المعركة. من ناحية سانتياغو صياد عجوز لكن خبرته وإصراره ملهمش حدود، ومن الناحية التانية سمكة المارلين، ودي مش أي سمكة، دي أعظم سمكة ممكن يقابلها في حياته كلها. وده بيأسس لمواجهة متوازنة بشكل مرعب، مش بس في القوة لكن كمان في الإرادة والخبرة.
واللي بيكشفوا الاقتباس ده بعبقرية هو الصراع اللي جوه سانتياغو نفسه. هو مش بيكره السمكة، بالعكس تماما، هو بيحترمها لدرجة توصل للحب، لكنه في نفس الوقت فاهم كويس إن دي معركة بقاء، وإنه لازم يقتلها عشان يثبت لنفسه وللعالم إنه لسه صياد عظيم.
طيب خلينا ننتقل للجزء اللي بعده ونشوف ازاي المعركة دي بتستنزف سانتياغو. الصراع ده مش مجرد اختبار للقوة، لا، ده اختبار لتحمل الألم الجسدي والنفسي لأبعد مدى.
عشان نتخيل حجم المعاناة لازم نعرف إن المعركة دي ما كانتش مجرد كام ساعة وخلصت، لا، دي استمرت أيام وليالي، صراع طويل من الإرهاق والألم المتواصل اللي ما بينتهيش.
الثمن الجسدي للمعركة دي كان فادح. الخيط بيحفر في جلده وفي ظهره وجسمه بيرتعش من الإجهاد، لكن الجروح دي أكتر بكتير من مجرد إصابات. دي بتتحول لشهادة على إرادته اللي مش بتتكسر. كل جرح هو مقياس لرفضه إنه يستسلم.
المصطلح ده صر على أسنانه بيوصف حالة سانتياغو بشكل دقيق جدا. لما الخيط بيضغط أكتر رد فعله لا إرادي إنه يجز على أسنانه من شدة الألم، ده بيخلينا نحس بالضغط الرهيب اللي هو فيه.
الجملة دي بتلخص كل حاجة، دي مش مبالغة منه، ده اعتراف صريح بقوة خصمه. بالنسبة لسانتياغو المعركة دي ما بقتش مجرد صراع على سمكة، دي بقت صراع على البقاء نفسه، يا قاتل يا مقتول. بس القوة الجسدية لوحدها مش كفاية أبداً. سانتياغو كان محتاج دفع نفسي، ولقاه في قصة بطله الرياضي جودي ماجيو. فكرة إن في بطل تاني قدر يتغلب على ألم الجسدي عشان يحقق العظمة، دي كانت هي الوقود اللي بيخليه يكمل.
وده بيوضح بشكل عبقري جوهر شخصية سانتياغو. هو معترف بضعفه الجسدي وسنه الكبير، لكن في نفس الوقت عنده إيمان مطلق بإرادته وقدرته على التحمل. الإصرار ده هو سلاحه الأقوى.
بعد كل الصراع والألم ده سانتياغو لسه أصلا ما شافش خصمه. يلا بينا نروح للحظة اللي كل حاجة بتتغير فيها، لحظة الكشف عن الكائن الغامض اللي بيصارعه بقاله أيام.
وهنا السؤال اللي بيحبس الأنفاس، يا ترى بعد كل الانتظار والألم ده إيه اللي هيظهر من أعماق المحيط؟
الكلمتين دول بيوصفوا المشهد بمنتهى القوة. مش مجرد ظهور عادي، ده انفجار، لحظة درامية بتكشف عن حجم وقوة المخلوق اللي كان بيسحبه كل ده.
وأخيرا بنشوفها، سمكة المارل مش مجرد سمكة كبيرة، دي كائن أسطوري أطول من المركب نفسه، بتلمع في الشمس زي الفضة وقوية زي السيف. في اللحظة دي سانتياغو بيتأكد إنه في مواجهة خصم يستحق كل هذا العناء وأكتر.
سانتياغو بيوصف السمكة بإنها نبيلة، والكلمة دي بتورينا إن نظرته ليها اتغيرت. هي خلاص مش مجرد فريسة، هي خصم يستحق الفخر والاحترام، خصم شريف.
المعركة دي أكبر بكتير من مجرد صيد سمكة. خلينا نشوف إزاي الصراع ده بيعبر عن أفكار أعمق عن الحياة والإرادة الإنسانية.
التناقض ده هو قلب القصة كلها. جسمه بينهار وبيصرخ من الألم، لكن إرادته وعزيمته صلبة زي الحديد. ده بيورينا إن القوة الحقيقية مش في العضلات، لكن في الروح اللي بترفض تستسلم.
الجدول ده بيلخص الأفكار العميقة للصراع. أول حاجة فكرة التحمل اللي هي جوهر شخصيته. تاني حاجة الاحترام الكبير اللي بيظهره لخصمه. والأهم بقى فكرة الرفقة الغريبة دي. هم أعداء، لكن الخيط اللي بينهم ربط مصيرهم ببعض وخلق ربطة فريدة من الكفاح المشترك في عزلتهم التامة.
وفي النهاية القصة بتسيبنا مع سؤال مهم جدا، هل العظمة الحقيقية ممكن تتحقق من غير معاناة؟ وهل الألم هو الثمن اللي لازم ندفعه عشان نوصل لأقصى إمكانياتنا كبشر؟ سؤال يستحق مننا كلنا التفكير.
All right, let's get right into it. We are heading way out into the open water to talk about one of the most intense showdowns in all of literature. It's just one old man, one absolutely giant fish and this epic, unseen battle that's going to push human endurance to its absolute breaking point. So just picture this for a second. You're miles and miles from shore, and you're actually being pulled even farther out into this vast, empty gulf. The sun's just beating down on you, and the only thing connecting you to the rest of the world is this thin line gripped in your hands. And on the other end, a creature with just immense, unbelievable power. That's where we find ourselves. That's the stage for the story. And this quote right here, this is where Santiago, our fisherman, he basically lays out the stakes. This isn't for an audience. There's no one around to applaud him. This is a totally private, almost elemental contest. You know, it's a test of himself. And the only witnesses are him and the fish. And that right there brings us to our first big idea, the pride of isolation. See, for Santiago, being totally alone out there against the sea, it doesn't bring fear. Nope, it brings something completely different. I mean, think about it. Most of us would be absolutely terrified being dragged out into the middle of the ocean. But for Santiago, it's the complete opposite. He feels this deep sense of pride. He gets just how massive his opponent is, and being all alone out there, it just makes him more determined. This is his fight, and nobody else's. Okay, so as the hours start to drag on and on, something really strange and complex starts to happen across that fishing line. It's not just predator versus prey anymore. It's something way deeper. It's almost like a window into the bond between us and the natural world. Just look at these statements. They're so conflicted, right? He respects the fish. He even says he loves it, but he knows he has to defeat it. He sees them as two equals, just locked in this incredible struggle for survival. He even asks God to help them both. I mean, what a beautiful and totally brutal paradox. And this just perfectly captures the heart of their bond. He's so lonely out there. But the fish he's fighting, it becomes his companion. They're connected. They're sharing this whole ordeal together. His greatest enemy is also his only friend out there. Which, of course, brings us to the raw physical reality of this fight. This isn't just some mental game. No, this is a brutal, grueling test of the body versus an absolutely unbreakable will. I mean, that's a central theme you see in so much great literature, isn't it? Now, Santiago might be old, but he is incredibly wise. He knows he's not going to win this with brute force alone. He has to be strategic. So what does he do? He shifts the line to use the strength of his back to give his bleeding hands a break, and he forces himself to eat raw tuna because he knows he's got to have fuel for a fight that could last for days. But the thing is, the fish's power is just relentless. That line isn't just a connection anymore. It's an instrument of pain, literally slicing into his skin. The physical toll of this fight is just getting worse and worse with every single hour. And then he just says it out loud. It's so simple, so direct. He's not complaining at all. He's acknowledging the sheer strength of his opponent. He gets that this battle, it could very well be his last. You know, the text says he clenched his teeth, and that's not just some random detail. It's the physical proof of his effort. It is the perfect example of showing, not just telling, us the incredible strain he's under. And this, right here, really captures that crucial contrast. On one hand, you've got his physical state, and it's completely failing. A broken body, bleeding hands, trembling with pain. But on the other hand, his mental state, his will, is described as being like iron. And it's all summed up in that one thought: I will not give in. So how does he keep that will of iron going? Well, he finds inspiration from the outside world. He thinks about his hero, the great baseball player Joe DiMaggio, who was famous for playing through incredible pain. And Santiago kind of figures, hey, if DiMaggio could do it on a baseball field, then he can do it out here on the sea. But his inspiration wasn't just external. He also pulled strength from deep inside himself, from this recurring dream that's tied to the strength and the peace of when he was young. He dreams about lions, but not as scary predators. He sees them as powerful, graceful creatures just playing on the beaches in Africa, a place he went to when he was a young man. This dream connects him back to his own youthful strength, and it gives him this little bit of peace right in the middle of this violent struggle. So for days and nights now, he's been fighting this invisible force. He's felt its power, for sure, but he hasn't actually seen it. Well, that is all about to change. Just take a look at this timeline. After 2 whole nights of this agonizing, painful battle, at dawn on the 3rd day, something finally happens. The line starts to rise. And then it happens. The book calls it a sudden explosion from the water. For the very first time, Santiago actually sees the creature he's been tied to this whole time. And it's a moment of just pure awe and probably a little bit of terror. And wow, what a sight. The marlin is enormous. We're talking longer than his boat. Its sides are just shimmering silver in the sunlight. This isn't just a fish, it's a majestic, powerful being. And what's the first word Santiago uses to describe it? Noble. He sees the honor in his opponent. So does seeing this absolutely immense creature make him want to quit? Not a chance. It does the exact opposite. Seeing its greatness, its nobility, it just renews his determination. He knows this is a fight worth fighting, and he vows right then and there to see it through no matter what it costs him. And this really gets us to the core message of this whole struggle, right? What it all says about human nature when we're pushed to our absolute breaking limit. And this is the ultimate takeaway, right here. For Santiago, being human means you work, you suffer, and you push through it to win. His body is completely broken, but his will, his spirit, it's still like iron. And in that endurance, that's where he finds what victory is really all about. Which leaves us with one last really powerful question to think about. When you're in a battle that nobody else can see, what's the true measure of a victory? Is it about the prize you bring back to shore, or is it about the unbreakable strength you found inside yourself when everything was on the line? That, right there, is the heart of Santiago's struggle.